I come?
Please.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sirs.
What is your qualification?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I did my graduation in 2019 and post-graduation in 2020 from Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, National Law University. Currently, I am pursuing PhD in data privacy from the same institution.
Solution in RML. RML.
Yes, sir.
And then LLM.
Yes, sir.
Now you are pursuing PhD. Topic है PhD का?
Sir, data privacy laws.
कितने साल हो गए?
Sir, it is my third year.
Specialization कहाँ है आपका?
Sir, constitutional law.
दूसरा?
Sir, in LLM, it was constitutional administrative law.
Administrative. You are from Dr. Lohia.
Yes, sir.
डॉक्टरेट किस सब्जेक्ट में की थी उन्होंने? डॉक्टर लोहिया ने? Of course, you are not a medicinal doctor.
Sir, I am not sure, but
You may make a wide guess.
Political science.
Just check it out. There is a very famous case. Ram Manohar Lohia versus the state of Bihar.
Yes, sir.
What it dealt with?
Sir, I am not able to recall right now.
What part of constitution it is?
Sir, I am not able to recall right now.
Can you recall any other case related with Dr. Lohia? There have been number of cases.
Indeed, sir, but I am not able to.
Pleaded.
Yes, sir.
Superintendent Central Jail versus Dr. Lohia.
Yes, sir.
So you are not able to recall any of those cases.
Yes.
Constitution में आपका favorite area क्या है?
Sir, fundamental rights.
Okay. And
Sir, if I have to choose, I'll say amendment or emergency. Like we have read.
why fundamental rights are called fundamental rights?
Sir, they are called fundamental rights because they are basic rights which are provided to every citizen, and they are fundamental because they are they cannot be violated and they are enforceable by the courts. They are basic human rights which are provided to every citizen.
What is the basic purpose of a constitution?
So, basic purpose of constitution, it is the grundam of our country which provides certain fundamental rights and also enlists certain duties of the citizens. It provides the powers, functions, structures of the various organs of the government. It creates constitutional posts, and it provides it is the source of other laws. If we see Article 13, it gives source. It is a source of for other laws also.
Article 13 is a source of law, or it restricts laws to encroach Part 3?
Indeed, sir, it restricts laws that no law, pre and post constitutional laws cannot be violated, cannot be held to be valid.
In every right, there must be duty.
Indeed,
to compensate that.
Yes, sir.
So in case of fundamental right, whose duty it is?
So it is a duty.
Right against whom?
Sir, state. As
All
defined.
fundamental rights are against the state, or there are some exceptions which are against individuals also?
Yes,
Rights
sir.
against individuals.
There are certain exceptions. If I have to give an example, like Article 17, it is available against private persons also. Article 23, Article 24. These are examples of rights which are available against private persons also.
What about Article 18?
So Article 18 talks about abolition of titles and.
Is there any duty against that with the state?
It is not a duty against state. It is on the individuals that they will not accept titles which are not given by state.
Data protection bill अभी आया है?
Indeed, yes, sir.
कब पास हुआ?
Sir, I think 2 days back it has been passed by Rajya Sabha also. Last week only it is passed by Lok Sabha and then Rajya Sabha.
9 अगस्त.
Okay, sir.
7 लोक सभा 9 अगस्त को.
Okay, sir. I'll remember that.
Correct. क्या है क्या ये?
Sir, this is whole.
क्यों प्रोडक्शन क्यों दिया गया? क्या रीजन है?
So what I feel is that in this technology-driven world, what is important is our personal data, personal information, which has become so important because everything we do is online now. So our personal data is stored by big companies. So how are they regulating that data? How?
Right, okay. Now we come to Aadhaar.
Yes, sir.
आधार में एक नंबर जनरेटेड आपको
दे दिया, एक नंबर जनरेट करके आपको दे दिया।
Yes, sir.
आधार से लिंक कर दिया आपका इनकम टैक्स,
Yes, sir.
इनकम टैक्स से लिंक कर दिया आपकी प्रॉपर्टी,
Yes, sir.
उसी आधार पे इनकम टैक्स लिंक कर दिया, उसी आधार से आपकी प्रॉपर्टी लिंक कर दी,
Yes, sir.
उसी आधार से आपके सारे बैंक अकाउंट लिंक कर दिए।
Yes, sir.
तो कहाँ से डेटा प्रोटेक्शन हो गया आपको?
Sir,
डोंट यू थिंक दिस इज वायलेशन ऑफ डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल 2023?
Sir, if we look at Data Protection Bill 2023, there are certain exemptions which are given to government in cases of, like for example, giving.
मेरा बैंक में अकाउंट है,
Yes, sir.
तो बैंक क्या हुआ? मेरे फिडुशियरी रिलेशन में हुआ?
Yes, sir.
How he can pass my information to anybody?
Yes, sir. Um, and for the protection of personal data, this bill is made, and if there are any violations done, there are
बैंक से तो डेटा मांगेगी।
penalties are.
फिडुशियरी रिलेशन, बैंक हमारा फिडुशियरी रिलेशन में।
Yes, sir.
डेटा प्रोटेक्शन का तीसरा पॉइंट यही कहता है, फिडुशियरी रिलेशन।
Yes, sir.
Correct?
But as a data principal, you have the right to get your data, and if there is any violation, penalties will be imposed on the data fiduciaries.
कौन लगाएगा? सरकारी तो मांग रही है।
Sir, there are
सरकारी तो उससे बैंक से इंफॉर्मेशन मांग रही है, इनका बैंक अकाउंट बताओ।
But if government
वो
is.
फैच कर ले रही है, ऑटो फैचिंग है।
Yes, sir. So what I feel is, if government is asking for data, it will be on reasonable grounds. For example, if they have to give any benefits, well.
अभी तक तो हमको, जब तक डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल नहीं था,
Yes, sir.
तब तक वो हमको नोटिस देती थी।
Yes, sir.
और इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल कराने के लिए कहती थी।
Yes, sir.
अब तो ऑटो फैच है, तो हाउ योर डेटा इज सिक्योर्ड?
Sir.
अब तो ऑटो फैचिंग सिस्टम है, क्योंकि आधार लिंक है, आधार प्रॉपर्टी लिंक है, आधार इनकम टैक्स लिंक है, आधार बैंक अकाउंट लिंक है। पहले हम कोई भी गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट अगर हमसे पूछता था तो हमको नोटिस देता था।
Yes, sir.
तो डेटा प्रोटेक्शन के बाद तो वो भी खत्म हो गया।
Sir, this is one of the apprehensions that have been going around, that maybe.
ये तो आधार के समय से ही चला आ रहा है।
Yes, sir. That it might create a surveillance state in the sense, but government is saying कि it has created certain, मतलब it can ask for the data of the people based on certain exemptions. So that is what I feel.
Have you gone through Aadhaar judgment?
Ma'am, not recently, but I have read it when I was.
What is your hypothesis?
Ma'am,
PhD?
hypothesis in my PhD. Ma'am, I did not had hypothesis. There were research questions.
What are the research questions?
Basically, my study was focused on analyzing the data protection laws in European Union and US, and how we can incorporate good things or bad things into our law, because at that time there was no law regarding data privacy.
Have you gone through WhatsApp case?
WhatsApp case? Yes, ma'am.
What are the facts of the WhatsApp case?
Ma'am, it was alleged that there was a spyware from Israel. I'm not able to recall the name. Pegasus?
WhatsApp case is related with data protection or not? You tell me this.
Yes, ma'am.
How it is related?
Ma'am, because WhatsApp, if our WhatsApp chats are leaked, then it is related to our privacy, and therefore if anyone is encrypting them,
Facebook is also involved into this issue.
Facebook, yes, ma'am.
How?
Ma'am, Facebook is also a social media company, and therefore it also has to protect the personal data of the.
I am talking about the case of WhatsApp.
No, ma'am, I don't remember
You
that.
Have you gone through this data protection bill which has been passed by both the houses?
Ma'am, I have not gone in the entirety, but I have read it.
So did you like it?
Ma'am, I think there are many good provisions, in the sense that data principals are given the right to delete or modify their data. They can ask for the summary of their data from the data fiduciaries, and even penalties are so provided. But I feel on the other side, there are certain exemptions which are given to the government, and also it can undermine Right to Information Act, as there is this provision where judges or public servants, they can deny to give their data, their personal data, if
And sir has asked this Aadhaar data that is going to be collected by the private players.
yes, ma'am.
So if they are going to misuse this data, or if
Yes,
they are
ma'am.
going to sell this data to somebody else, in the recent bill, some kind of penal provision is there or not?
Ma'am, I don't remember the penal provision, but I think there is a provision for penalty. If any violation is done, they will be charged 250 crore per violation for the same data companies.
What is the relation of data protection bill 2023 with information technology bill 2000?
Sir,
And the rules amended there.
yes,
And the rules amended.
yes,
The
sir.
important thing in the IT Act is the rules, especially the latest rules, part of which has been struck aside by Madras High Court.
Okay. Sir, before still there is no law, so data privacy was governed under the IT Act 2000. Matlab, there was not a comprehensive law related to data protection till date, so it was governed under Information Technology Act and rules.
Not this law.
Yes, sir. So
Data
sir,
protection.
before this law, I was saying before this law.
Correct.
Yes, sir. So rules were made, sir. I think it was 2021 rules regarding to social media intermediaries, if I
What
remember.
rules were struck aside by Madras High Court?
Sir, I'm not aware of that. I'll read about it when I go back. So
चलिए डेटा प्रोटेक्शन का कोई भी वायलेशन है
yes, sir.
वो कहाँ जाएगा? आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट आईटी इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट की बात नहीं कर रहा। डेटा प्रोटेक्शन पर्सनल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 2023 का कोई भी वायलेशन कहाँ जाएगा?
Sir,
कोई अथॉरिटी है ना जो सुनेगी कि मेरा पर्सनल डेटा वायलेट हुआ है?
sir, I think there is a data protection board that is established.
कौन है इसके चेयरमैन?
So I'm not able to recall, but I think
जस्टिस डीएन श्री कृष्ण।
okay,
करेक्ट?
okay, sir.
सर
आपने जो है डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ एरिस्टॉटल सुना होगा, ये
Yes.
कहाँ है?
Sir, it is given under section 115 of Indian Evidence Act.
कोई पार्टनरशिप एक्ट में भी कोई ऐसी सेक्शन है इससे रिलेटेड कुछ इसी पर बेस्ड?
Sir, yes, sir. I think section 27 talks about
28
28 talks about the same.
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट में भी कहीं पर कुछ जो है एरिस्टॉटल की बात नहीं है।
Sir, Contract Act specifically does not talk about estoppel, but it talks about promissory estoppel, which was given through a judgment.
कोई एजेंसी में भी कोई मोड है इम्प्लाइड मोड में?
Yes, sir. I think under section 236.
एजेंसी वाइज एरिस्टॉटल नहीं सुना?
Yes, sir. Agency. So I'm not able to recall the provisions, but there is a provision if someone.
इम्प्लाइड एजेंसी है?
Yes, sir.
इम्प्लाइड एरिस्टॉटल
Yes, sir.
किस एक्ट में ज़्यादा रुचि है आपकी?
Sir, we have read all the laws, but if I have to choose, I'll say procedural laws.
वेरी गुड। रिव्यू और जो है रिवीजन में डिफरेंस क्या होता है?
Sir, review is done by the same court of its judgment on certain grounds. And so the other one?
Revision.
Revision. Sir, revision is when the higher court, or like if we have to give an example of CRPC, under CRPC, if High Court or Court of Session call for records from
And
the.
what about reference?
So reference is made by a subordinate court to the higher court if there is any doubt as to the interpretation of any ordinance law or anything like
रिवीजन
that.
अपील में अंतर क्या है?
Sir,
What difference between revision and appeal?
yes, sir. So, give me a moment to recall. Sir, revision is provided, means if there is no provision of appeal, there is provision of revision. Revision is also like it can be either on the application of the parties, or High Court can do it on its own motion. That's it I can recall.
आप PhD कर रहे हैं?
Yes, sir.
अब जज बन जाइएगा तो आपको क्लास भी लेना पड़ सकता है, ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट जो है ATRI।
यस सर। अच्छा
आपका सब्जेक्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, आप कैसे बताएंगे कि क्या डिफरेंस है फंडामेंटल राइट और डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स में?
अच्छा
नीति निर्देशक तत्व और मौलिक अधिकार में क्या अंतर है?
Yes, sir. So fundamental rights are provided under Part 3rd of the Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights are rights which are provided to every citizen and in certain cases persons also, and they cannot be violated, and they are in a way negative rights which state cannot violate. But if we have to talk about DPSPs or directive principles of state policy, they are positive obligations on the state, and they are fundamental in the governance of the country, and the state can make laws for their enforcement. So the basic difference if I have to talk about is that fundamental rights are justiciable, that is they are enforceable by court, and DPSPs are not.
ये बताओ बेटा, इसमें चीफ जस्टिस कौन?
Sir, Honorable Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud.
कौन सा नंबर है उनका?
Sir, 50th.
15th?
नहीं sir, 50. Yes sir.
इसके बाद कौन होंगे? कोई से सीनियरिटी के साथ हो रहा है ना?
Yes sir. Sir, I am not able to recall it.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पहले चीफ जस्टिस कौन थे?
Sir, Honorable Justice H.A. Kania.
चलिए वापस प्रोसीजर पे आते हैं थोड़ा सा।
Yes,
प्रोसीजर
sir.
आपकी लाइकिंग है, अच्छा है। सेक्शन 313 सीआरपीसी क्या है?
Sir, Section 313 CRPC talks about examination of the accused by the court. It is done on two stages. One is discretionary at any stage, and one is mandatory after the prosecution witnesses evidence has been taken by the court. It is not done on oath, and it is done to ascertain his side, matlab to know his case.
सेक्शन 149 आईपीसी।
Yes, sir. So section 149 talks about if there is an unlawful assembly and they are acting in prosecution of.
How it differs from section 34 IPC?
Yes, sir. Sir, if we have to say, if I have to tell difference, the one thing that is section 34 is not a substantive offence, but 149 is a substantive offence. Section 34 talks about common intention. Now, if we look at common intention has been defined by court as a pre-arranged plan or a pre-arranged scheme which is in concert of all the accused involved. But on the other hand, section 149 talks about common object. Now, common object is given under section 141. It enlists certain acts which an assembly of 5 or more persons do. So, section 134 talks about in furtherance of common intention. If any act is done, it will be deemed as if it is done by the person alone. So it in a way creates a legal fiction, constructive and joint liability that each person will be involved in the same manner. So it is talking about common intention. But on the other hand, 149 talks about in prosecution of common object, which the members knew to be likely. So even if the knowledge of the common object is there, they will be held liable. Under section 34, the physical presence of is not necessary, but active participation is required. But under section 149, physical presence is necessary and active participation is also necessary. And if we suppose if we have to state the charge, so it is mentioned after the main offence, and it is not important to mention. But if we have to state charge of 149, it is to be mentioned initially because it is a substantive offence which is created.
149 में कितने persons की जरूरत है?
Sir, 5 or more. It talks.
34?
So 34 minimum 2.
कोर्ट में ट्रायल हुआ,
Yes, sir.
5 एक्यूज थे,
Yes, sir.
उसमें से एक एक्यूज का एक्विटल हो गया,
Yes, sir.
बाकी 4 पनिशमेंट हुआ।
Yes, sir.
सही है, हो सकता है,
Yes, sir.
हो सकता है।
If one is acquitted and other are punished.
यस,
Sir, under which section? 34 or?
वही मैं पूछ रहा हूँ। 149
Sir, it can be done under 149. Sir, because it talks about when a criminal act is done, so it is talking about the act, and I don't think it is talking about कि if 5 persons are acquitted or convicted.
तो कॉमन ऑब्जेक्ट को आप कहाँ ले जाएंगे?
Common object among how many persons?
5.
And is one acquitted?
But
बेसिक प्रिंसिपल रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द रूल क्या है?
common object which
5%?
yes sir.
5 or more?
हाँ sir I think कि 149 charge can be converted into 34, but 34 cannot be converted into 149. So in that sense I feel 149 will be converted to 34.
So if there is any provision in 34 to penal, then there is, I don't think there is any penal provision in 34.
मर्डर का कहीं डिफिनेशन आईपीसी में है क्या?
Murder
का डिफिनेशन
sir section 300.
300 उसका सब क्लास फर्स्ट जो है एक्सप्लेनेशन क्या है उसमें फर्स्ट में?
Sir, if there is intention to cause death, then it will be murder, means it will be culpable homicide amounting to murder.
सडन ग्रेव प्रोवोकेशन पढ़ा आपने?
Yes sir.
पढ़ा?
Yes sir.
क्या है सडन ग्रेव प्रोवोकेशन?
Sir, it is an exception one provided under section 300 when culpable homicide will not be murder if the death was caused by sudden and grave provocation given by other person.
इसमें कोई लीडिंग केस होता है?
Sir,
लैंडमार्क केस
sir KM Nanavati case.
क्या उसमें प्रिंसिपल्स क्या डिसाइड किए गए?
Sir, let me recall. The provocation should be sudden and grave both, and it there should not be any cooling off period between the provocation given and the criminal act done.
क्या हुआ था उसमें? फैक्ट मालूम है?
Yes sir. The plain sorry.
माना गया था ग्रेव सडन प्रोवोकेशन उसका माना गया था कैम नाम आपके का?
No sir, it was not.
ठीक है
चलिए मैं जा रहा था कार लेके,
Yes sir.
कुछ लोग सड़क पे सो रहे थे, मैं स्पीड से चढ़ाता हुआ निकल गया, वो लोग मर गए। What offense I did?
Sir, death by rash and negligent act.
कैसे? सेक्शन क्या है?
Section 304 AIPC.
सेक्शन 304
4 AIPC.
मेरे पास लाइसेंस है, मुझे नॉलेज है, नॉलेज है ना मुझे?
Yes sir.
लाइसेंस है, मीनिंग दे रहा है मेरे पास नॉलेज है।
Sir,
जब नॉलेज है तो 304 ए कैसे होगा?
sir then
मैंने डेथ कॉज कर दी है, मेरे पास नॉलेज है, लाइसेंस है, आई हैव वैलिड लाइसेंस फॉर ड्राइविंग।
so then it might be covered under section 300 clause D when your act is so eminently dangerous.
मेरे पास लाइसेंस है ना, आई हैव ऑल द नॉलेज हाउ टू ड्राइव।
But sir, still your
जैसी नॉलेज आ गई तो क्या हो गया ये?
sir, it will be an offense in the sense that
कल्पेबल होमिसाइड हो गया ना?
Yes,
जैसी
sir.
नॉलेज आ गई मेरे पास,
yes sir.
इंटेंशन नहीं था, ठीक है, नॉलेज है ना मुझे, मर जाएगा, लाइसेंस है मेरे पास,
Yes sir.
क्या हो गया?
Sir, I think it will be under section 304A because your act was rash and negligent.
Okay, I do agree on this point. It is rash and negligent act,
Yes sir.
right? लेकिन मेरे पास लाइसेंस है,
So but
नॉलेज आ गई मेरे पास कि अगर मैं ऐसे चलाऊंगा तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, अगर मैं ऐसा करूंगा तो ऐसा हो जाएगा। नॉलेज यही तो कहती है कि अगर मेरे हाथ में राइफल है और मैं इसको दबाऊंगा तो गोली निकल जाएगी। आई हैव नॉलेज।
sir, but
और गोली निकलेगी, सामने वाले की लगेगी, वो मर जाएगा।
sir, but
नेग्लिजेंस तो वहाँ भी है ना 304 में।
yes sir, but I don't think
इंटेंशन नहीं है। चलिए, मैं मुर्गी मार रहा था झाड़ी के पीछे, आईपीसी में दिया हुआ है ना? हाँ जी। और पीछे एक आदमी उसमें बैठा हुआ था झाड़ी के पीछे, वो मर गया, तो क्या हुआ? 304 हुआ?
no sir. Sir, your act will be excused. It will come under general exceptions because it was mistake of fact.
दोनों में अंतर क्या हुआ फिर?
Ma'am, in one case, there was no proper care and caution taken. If you are driving, you cannot be rash and negligent in a way that you have to be careful while driving. But in other situation, it was mistake of fact in the sense that maybe in good faith, it was done in good faith.
इस देश के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के पोते को सजा हुई, लीडिंग केस है, गुलजारी नंदा के पोते को सजा हुई इसी ग्राउंड में। दिस इज 304। नॉलेज है ना, लाइसेंस है, नॉलेज है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसकी सजा बहाल रखी 304 में। 304 क्यों नहीं होगा? 304 होगा।
Okay, sir.
Best time.
Thank you.
थैंक यू।
Thank you so much.